This is the ultimate Demon Hunter builds, guys, where today I'm gonna show you exactly every single build that you need to use to dominate Diablo Immortal. That's what you want. You want to farm the fastest, you want to do the highest damage inside the dungeons and raids, and you want to dominate in PvP. So we're gonna share two different playstyles. One is from the Strafe, the other one is for the Summons. Play with whatever you like and suits your playstyle because they are both pretty good. So the first one for the farming, this is a beginner's farming where you pretty much just, if you just became a Demon Hunter, you're gonna use as first. For the skills, we are using Explosive Arrows, Vengeance, Multi-Shot, Daring Swing, and the Strafe. Here, for the instances, we are starting with the Titan Snare. This is the one that is gonna unlock this build, because now the Daring Swing, it is gonna become a buff, and then it's gonna be able to increase your movement speed with these advances, and also it's gonna increase your attack speed with the Pants the Trampled Hope. This is the key essence that you need the Titan Snare to make this work. Then you have the Sinful Vigor. Whenever you attack with your primary attacks, it restores the energy for your Strafe. We have the Fang Spitter, that your multi-shot is gonna be inside the primary attack and also become part of the Strafe. Very powerful. This, the Pain Sword, the second build, the second essence that you also need to pretty much have, otherwise it's just not gonna work, because now the Strafe will also start firing the primary attacks and also is gonna start firing the multi-shot. Is very powerful. Now here, for the other main hand, we are using the Unrelenting Favor, that the Strafe duration is gonna be increased by 39%. It's just gonna make the way more comfortable for you to farm. Then the L-Binder, the Explosive Arrow, is also gonna add a burning effect on the target. For the set items, we are using 4 pieces Vitus and 4 pieces Grace. It is very good. You cannot go wrong with this, and it's just gonna work absolutely fine. For the Paragon, we are using the Brawler because we have already rank 30. If not, you're gonna use the Vanquisher, but we are using Heavy Armor, Defense of Sanctuary, Combat Tricks, Rugged, Combat Expertise, and Death's Release as a legendary Paragon effect. Why we're using this is mainly for the increased size. The bigger you are, the faster you're gonna go, and that's how pretty much it's gonna work. So this build is really easy to pretty much use. All you're gonna have is 3 buffs you're gonna activate, and all of a sudden you're gonna start like running extremely fast, and then you use your Strafe, you go near the targets and you pretty much blow them up. But why did I say this is a beginner's friendly? Is because like you're gonna have more damage and less movement speed, because whenever we activate the Strafe, we actually start going slightly slow. I mean, maybe it's not gonna be a big deal for you, but personally, I feel like whenever we are trying to farm, we always want to go as fast as we can. And that's why I use this second build, which is I call the Summons farming build. This one, it is extremely powerful. I have also a video detailing every single component regarding this build, but it is gonna be a completely different playstyle. But the good thing is that if you're strong enough, you actually never gonna stop to even care about the mobs. So we are using here for the skills Crossbow Shot, Sentry, the Knife Trap, the Strafe, and also the Vengeance. But there is 2 requirements for this build. One is gonna be the Freedom and Devotion, that is gonna increase the duration of your summons up to 24%. I only have at rank 9, so it gives me 20%. And the other one, you are required to have poison. So the Viper's Bite is here to activate that poison because of the Hard Feelings chest. This causes that now the Vengeance will also passively start attacking poison enemies with these piercing bolts, and this is gonna create a lot more damage that's gonna come between you and your summons. It is really good. For the headpiece, we are using the Bad Deal, that now the sentry is gonna start becoming like a kind of like a bat around you. The Forest Scream also is gonna decrease the knife trap cooldown, that is gonna have like a shurikens around us. The Unrelenting Favor to increase the duration of our Strafe summon. 1 owns Fusilliman. This is gonna make that now the sentry is gonna mark the targets and also increase the damage that they take. Very good. Sailor Spin, the knife traps now becomes like a shurikens around you. The Buzzard main hand, while you are using Strafe, your movement speed is increased by 30%. This is very good. And last but not least, we have the Fallen's Farmer, which your Strafe becomes now a Spinning Shadow, which it is pretty much a summon. Then we are using here 4 pieces augments, 2 pieces barons, and also 2 pieces Vitus. You want to go and you want to add some extra dots. You can also use 4 pieces grace, 4 pieces Vitus. Use whatever you want. Pretty much almost everything kind of works. And regarding the paragon, we are using exactly the same as we were on the other one. Defender Sanctuary, heavy armor, combat tricks, rugged, combat expertise, and death's release. So how is the playstyle of this? Pretty much you're gonna have 2 summons around you. That is gonna be this shuriken or these bats, but if you spam it, you can actually have 4. And if you spam also here your strafes, all of a sudden you're gonna realize that you're gonna do so much damage. And as you guys can see, whenever we're gonna have a poison on the target, passively the vengeance is gonna start to pretty much firing this green piercing bolt, which is so good. I mean, like, it just works great as long as you're strong enough. You're gonna realize that if I go here into the tower, just like to show you exactly how powerful this is. So this is gonna be like one of the easiest builds for you to play. You drop the strafe is gonna activate your movement speed, and then all you need to worry is pretty much just keep like your summons activated, and they'll pretty much like to deal with the rest. You're also gonna have here the active skill when it comes to your vengeance, that in case you just run into a situation that you're gonna have like someone slightly more you know, tough, like for example, not the blue ones, because the blue ones, they just get like one shot, but for example here we got the boss. We're gonna use the primary attack, but also we're gonna use the vengeance explosion to pretty much activate a bit more extra damage. I use those like mainly when it comes like to these maybe orange mobs that they don't die in one go, but as you guys can see, I can like literally just run, and I don't do anything else. I just run. I don't need to strafe. I don't get slowed down. I don't get anything. And if I had 2 pieces of clandestine, I could actually reach to a point where I would have like 70% movement speed as it is, right? So this is how I usually go and farm with it. It is very fast. You don't have to worry at all. Just spam your buttons, get your summons outside, and you're gonna be completely fine. So when it comes to the farming, you have the beginner one and you have these ones. Just decide which one you really want to go with. And so now let's talk about big damage. I'm gonna share with you also the dungeon builds that comes for Demon Hunter, and we have 2 variants for those that have the Roiling consequence and the ones that they don't. So personally, for the beginners, you can actually use like this one with a PvE poison. It is like the strafe build, but with a few modifications. We are using the explosive arrow, vengeance, multi-shot, smoke screen, and strafe. For the instances, we are using Eyes of Blaze. The multi-shot will cause explosions on burning enemies, and for that we are using the Hellbinder, that the explosive shot will also add that burning effect. Hellfire, the multi-shot, now gonna add 2 more rockets coming out. Sinful Vigor, so you can keep restoring your energy. Thanks, Peter. The multi-shot is now gonna be triggered by your primary attacks, so it's gonna be part of the strafe. Pain Sword, now the strafe is also gonna shoot your primary attacks. For the pants, we are using Creeping Demise. The smoke screen now is gonna infuse your weapon with the toxins, causing your primary attacks to poison the enemies. But whenever it is a critical hit, it's gonna create an explosion, and it's gonna be really good for PvE, including the dungeons. Then we are using here the Unrelating Fever, so you can have the strafe duration quite increased. For the green set items, we are using here 4 pieces Vitus and also 4 pieces seeds. If you want, you can also use the 4 pieces grace, because also works really well because of the poisons. Both of them, they work as your personal frames. For my testing, I think that they both like really worked very well. For the paragon, we are using here the slinger, we are using the uncanny, unseen dynamism, gifted, the bloodthirst, and also the superiority, and the legendary skill is gonna be the death release, because we are using a lot of poisons. So let me show you how this actually works. So I'm gonna activate all these 3 buffs, then I'm gonna spam strafe, and that's pretty much it. On a single target, it doesn't do as well as the other build that I'm gonna show you, but it also does like very well when it comes to the AoE. So this is pretty much like the damage. Like if you see here, we got here some 6-7 very good like damage, especially for the bursts. You see like a lot of explosions coming. I personally like it a lot. You see like 6.5 in 12 seconds. Maybe will have a drop off maybe like to 5 seconds or something like that. So I think this build is gonna work extremely well, because also all my legendary gems is pretty much just damage increase. We also have in the Gloom cast to add that extra damage, but pretty much if you don't have any of these gems, don't worry, just slot pretty much anything that is gonna have like some increased damage. It can be like the Berserker's Eye, it can be like the Pain Clasp, it can be even the new Crimson, the Bloody Reach, Bottle Hope. I mean, like nowadays you have like so many other solutions that you can go and just play around with it. It is pretty good, and I kind of like it. So let me go and show you now the other build, the one that I usually tend to use more often. It is with the Spinning Chakram. This one has also different variants, but this one, it is in my opinion slightly stronger, especially when it comes to the single target for the bosses, because we're gonna using the Spinning Chakra, and the Spinning Chakra with the leverage of like these pants, that whenever we gonna hit the target like 5 times, you're gonna have an increased damage up to 20%, which makes it like very strong. So for the skills we are using here, the Explosive Arrow, the Vengeance, also the multi-shot, Spinning Chakra, and the Strafe. And for the ancestors, we are using again the Eyes Ablaze. The multi-shot is now gonna cause explosion of burning targets, and this is why I was telling you that you're gonna need to have your Roiling consequence. It's gonna be the only way that you're gonna be able to apply the burning during those effects, but because you have a Roiling consequence most of the times, it's still gonna be worth to use it, especially in those packs. Hellfire, the multi-shot also starts hitting with both rockets. Sinful Vigor is gonna restore the primary attacks, gonna restore energy of your Strafe with primary attacks. Fang Spitter, multi-shot is now part of your primary attacks. Pain Sour, the primary attacks are now part of the Strafe. The Slayer's Breach, whenever you attack 5 times, you're gonna have a 20% multiplier damage on the target, very good. Unrelenting Favor, increase the duration of your Strafe, and also the Lying Jaw. So now the Spinning Chakras now is gonna empower you, and your primary attacks is gonna start like taking like some chakras to bounce between every target and you. It's actually pretty good. Then here, once again, we are using the 4 pieces seeds. You can also use 4 pieces grace, and then also 4 pieces virtues toward the attack speed, and also the beneficial effect duration. When it comes here to the paragon, it is exactly the same one: unseen dynamism, uncanny, gifted, bloodthirst, superiority, and dance release. So now I'm gonna show you this build in action. They are pretty much similar when it comes to damage. This one is like, from my testing, is slightly higher. So whenever I activate these 3 buffs and then I'm gonna Strafe, you're gonna see that my damage output is actually gonna be like up to 10 million of bursts. It is very good. So yeah, we just keep like attacking, and then as you can see, 6.7, so it is pretty much almost the same, even though this one, especially at the start, it has like a higher ceiling when it comes like to the burst damage. If you use these inside the dungeons, you're gonna realize that you're gonna have a lot of like AoE damage that is gonna come out with it. So I'm gonna do now here a quick like run, so you pretty much can see more or less how this works. Like this one, I'm using like the poisons one, and my damage like is pretty up there. Like I'm almost like competing like with the big boys. So it works like extremely well. Even like in single target, like the poisons, like it doesn't like really affect that much, but it definitely shines whenever you have like a lot of people. Personally, again, I already said that I prefer the Chakram ones, but this one is also nice. You don't have like as many like requirements. You don't have like to use the Roiling consequence, even if you don't have it. So as you guys can see, like pretty solid run. There isn't much to add. Like you're just gonna spin around. You have your buffs on. You have triple buffs. You spam one button, and you're just gonna pretty much put all eggs in one basket. That's really how it works. You just put everything into the Strafe, and you try that the Strafe is gonna do as higher damage as possible. This build is again very good to play, and also like it works really well when it comes like to the bosses, right? Like if I go here and I start attacking the boss, you're gonna see like the damage output, especially in single target of Demon Hunter, is still like pretty nasty, man. So we go here, we burst him out, and then it's done. So this is like how it works more or less inside the dungeons. It is pretty straightforward. There's nothing else to see. The Spinning Chakra, it is the same thing. You just replace the smoke screen with the other one, and that's it. So let's go into the fun part and talk about the PvP builds. It is gonna be my favorite PvP build. This I already shared as well before, and this is like a build from Keys from many months ago. But the reality, it just works so damn well. We are using the explosive arrow, we are using the Daddy swing, we are using spinning chakra, the escape, and also the strafe. And then regarding here the instances, we are using the best distraction, so you have this infinite escape. Every time you take damage, it's gonna reduce by a lot the escape cooldown. You're gonna use the escalating violence, that pretty much your escape is gonna become into a dash, and whenever you go straight the dash into the player, you're actually gonna be able to immobilize them, which is very powerful. The chess piece, we are using the Rendella. This one is gonna increase the damage that the target takes 30%, very strong. Unrelenting Favor is gonna increase the duration of your strafe by 39%. Electron Luna, the spinning chakra, is gonna start throwing a wind wheel. It is very strong. It has a bit of CC and some knockback. Then we have the secret safeguard. The escape now is gonna give you a shield, then this is gonna be very important for you to protect yourself, because the Demon Hunter doesn't have a lot of survivability. Turmoil, your strafe is now gonna start launching these rockets for extra damage. And the shitty card, that the strafe is now gonna randomly fire pierced shots at the nearby enemies. It works extremely well. We are using the 4 pieces Vitus, the 4 pieces Glooms, and you just want to add damage, you want to have some extra crit. When it comes here to the paragon, this is the one that I use because I'm free to play. I love the gladiator. The cheat dead really saves me a lot of times. And then we are using the Grizzly Veteran, that we take less damage. The Victor, whenever you kill, you get this extra 12% buff damage increase and damage reduction. Uncontrollable, you become immune to CC. And the first aid to heal yourself, they are extremely good because you're gonna be almost on their faces. Then we are using, as the legendary paragon skill, we are using Lightning Rod. You can also, if you want, you can try to use the one with the dots. They both work. So how does this build actually work inside PvP? You're gonna realize that we're gonna have 2 dashes, 1 knockback, and also the strafe. So the first one is gonna be the Daddy swing. It's just pretty much gonna jump around. Whenever you have the 6 pieces torture, you're gonna be able to immobilize the targets whenever they go into those flames. Then we also use here the escape. This escape is gonna be very strong as well, because you're gonna immobilize if you go through the target. You go here and you're gonna see that they now cannot move. This is very good, especially when you are trying to escape or just trying to lock them down in the same place. This was one of the things that I had to get better to play with it. Then we have here the shuriken. This shuriken not only is gonna add a lot of damage, gonna slow them down, but also is gonna knock them down. So sometimes like you're trying to dash away and then you just leave the spin and they're gonna be here pretty much just like slow and immobilized. It is very strong. And obviously for you to do some damage, you're gonna use the strafe, and these you're gonna see just gonna start attacking randomly. You wanna do these, you wanna activate your glooms, and in overall, like, it just works extremely well. If you have come on my streams, you've been seeing me playing with this build a lot of times, and it is still my favorite build to play with it. You cannot really go wrong with it, but I will have to say that it has a high skill ceiling. You're gonna need a lot of like substats. You're gonna try to build up like your legendary gems in a way that, for example, I'm using here the Bottle Hope to give me the increased movement speed buff. I'm also using the new Crimson Behelit to give that extra fear and also damage reduction. We are also using the Pain class, so we're using like a few gems, including here the Colossus, that pretty much gonna help us like with survivability and mobility and all these things. I love it. It is my favorite build, but since I know that many of you guys will say, oh my god, but it's like hard because on the mobile it is hard to play and all these things, don't worry, I got an easier to play build. It is the Summon Trap, but this is a new version that I really enjoy to play with it. But you have to play in a different way. When it comes to the summons, it's all about just putting a lot of dots on the target. It is a heavy potency build. You're gonna need a lot of dots because pretty much all you're gonna do is leave your summons, and all these summons are gonna pretty much put burning effects, poison effects, everlasting, and they just gonna do all the damage for yourself. But why am I now making a video regarding the summons and I didn't in the past? Is because I thought that in the past it was not that good, but now we have this new sentry. This new sentry, it is so good because if you put this on the target is just gonna be locked in, and if he goes outside of like this area, he's gonna get stunned. So it's very powerful. All you want to do is just you put the sentry, you put your strafe, and also you put here these new knife traps that are gonna attack the burning enemies, and it's just so good. It is actually way better than in the past. So let's go and dive into the skills. We are using the explosive arrow, we are using the sentry, knife trap, strafe, and then the daily swing is gonna be your only dash. We are using here for the instances the eyeless watch. The sentry is now gonna become a rope torrent, and this is the one that's gonna pretty much stun them and make them slow. It's very good. It's Inferno 6, but it is so good. The shoulders, we are using the maiming echo. Now the knife traps, whenever it deals damage to the target, is gonna increase up to 45%. Very solid. The knife trap damage is increased by 20%. So you see how these new knife traps are gonna actually create a lot of extra damage. Unrelated favor, increase the duration of your strafe summon. Fallon's Farmer makes your strafe become a summon. Fire Piper, now the knife traps is gonna summon these moving traps that automatically is gonna start attacking nearby burning enemies, but don't worry that these are also gonna create some burn, so they will just pretty much move around with it. Very good. Watcher's Salvation, the sentry maximum number of activated is increased by 1, and also the maximum of charges increased by 1. Pretty much means that you can have like 2 sentries in the same spot. That's all it means. And yeah, it's pretty good. Instead of having 1, you're gonna have 2, and you can pretty much just put way more CC than before. Regarding the set items, you want to go with the 4 pieces augment and then 4 pieces grace. And why you want to do this, because as I said, you're gonna have a lot of dots on the target, you're gonna have a lot of burnings, poisons, and all these things. So whenever these dots triggered, they can actually activate an extra burn on the target. And not only that, whenever you have multiple dots on the target, you're gonna start seeing that each time that you do 5 times damage on the target, you create this additional damage that also is gonna stop them from bandaging. Is also very powerful, and this is where most of your damage will come from. So this build, it is really good. When it comes to the paragon, you're gonna see that we are using the cheat dead, grizzly veteran, overpowered to the victory, swift strikes, and the dead's release. These are the things that we are using. It is very solid to play. The legendary gems, we are using here the Colossus engine, the pain class because we're gonna have a lot of dots, Viper's Bite to add that extra poison, Ballistic Shade, so we have the movement speed and the extra damage. We have the Everlasting Torment, an extra dot, but Helit's Crimson is gonna give you the Fear. Fear is very powerful. It was gonna save you a lot of times. If you have a Sweeping Bile, maybe you can put and slot it in the Sweeping Bile right here for the extra dot. Then you have here at the bottom the Crit Gems, Running Consequence for the extra burn and critical hit chance, and then the Mother's Lament for the critical hit chance. So this is pretty much the builds that I am using, and I had fun with all of them. Both of these 2 PvP builds are very strong. So if this guide helped you, come to my stream, say, hey Indez, thank you so much for this ultimate guide. Your videos really help me. Say something nice, or just don't say anything and drop a like and type cheese in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.